I'd like to get my thoughts on the Jussie Smolett thing. First and foremost, he deserved to be convicted. Okay, because as a citizen of this country, I am sick and tired of the celebrities getting away with everything. With very little exception, most celebrities get away with everything they do. Case in point, O.J. Simpson. Okay, do not tell me that he's innocent. Okay, you have a regular person that would do something and get prison time, whereas a celebrity would do the same exact thing in the same exact zip code and get probation. Okay, Lindsay Lohan, how many crimes did she commit? Okay, Lindsay Lohan kidnapped 3 men. Lindsay Lohan got in a car drunk and on drugs and kidnapped 3 men. Now, I want you to tell me that if you got in a car drunk or on drugs and drove off with 3 women against their will, I want you to lie to me and tell me that you would not be convicted of kidnapping. And ironically, she said in the car, I'm a celebrity, I do whatever the fuck I want. Okay, he deserves to be convicted. And he should get the full 15 years. Now, here's how disgusting this is. Not only did he do it, but he pled not guilty, demanded a jury, testified on his own behalf, and exaggerated even more. Okay? Now, when I was a kid, we had a lot of 80s TV shows, cartoons, and stuff. Some cartoons would teach you a life lesson at the end. Case in point, He-Man and the Master Universe. One of the characters would come on and give you a life lesson that you can use in the real world. G.I. Joe would actually take a step further. They would show kids your age, or maybe a little older, getting ready to do a stupid act, or in trouble, and one of the Joes would show up and help them with the problem. And one episode, one of the kids was passing by a payphone. Yes, I know I'm old. And he wanted to make a prank phone call to 911. And his friend said, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't do that. And then one of the Joes came out and said, you shouldn't do that because, and they showed clips of firemen rescuing people and burning buildings, You shouldn't make prank phone calls to 911 because the first responders, paramedics, firemen, okay, police, whoever, are needed someplace else and you're distracting them. Okay? Now, by making a fake 911 call, he distracted first responders. Then, obviously, the fake reports, the this and that, also the bullshit. He actually had detectives doing a total of 3,000 man hours dedicated to this case. Now, in Chicago, those detectives are desperately needed to solve murders, attempted murders, fights, assaults, and robberies in the black community. They're also needed to arrest drug dealers who sell drugs to black children. Okay? And here you have this scumbag who is making this outlandish, hysterical story, a ridiculous story, a bonkers story. Okay? And he's taking up police reports, police time, detectives' time. Okay? And he's going on TV crying and complaining about how oppressed he is, how horrible it is. Okay, well, tell the black mother whose son was killed by the black gangbanger, whose son was innocent, by the way, and killed because the black gangbanger can't shoot straight. Okay? Tell her that you're a victim. Because the detectives that were needed to solve her son's murder were solving your assault. Okay? He victimized the black community. And then he turned around and called everyone else a racist. Now, the ninth question, it was a polar vortex. What is that? Okay, a polar vortex is scientific word for cold as fuck, okay? Now, in 2014, we had a polar vortex in my neck of the woods. Okay? And the result was every day for a month it was 0. Keep in mind that the coldest day in 108 years, I was working outside. It was 17 degrees below 0. Now, in Chicago, 2019, they have a polar vortex. It is 30 degrees below 0. Jussie Smolett gets hungry in the middle of the night and decides to go to Subway because Subway's open at 3 a.m. Also, Subway, okay, you will see me resort to cannibalism before you see me go to Subway, okay? Seriously, if we're locked in the Subway together, I will fucking eat you before I eat the food. Literally. I will murder you and eat you before I eat that food. That's how bad Subway is, okay? So, he leaves at 3 o'clock in the morning when it's 30 below 0 outside to go to Subway. He didn't want the peanut butter and jelly in his closet or the cereal or hot dogs or whatever food we have available in our kitchen on any given night, okay? We've all gotten up and said, man, I'm hungry, you know. Maybe you're up late watching TV, or maybe you're up late doing work, or maybe you wake up in the middle of the night and say, I can't go back to bed, let me get a snack or something. And we go to the kitchen and get whatever's available to us and eat it. Like, we've all done that. Please. Okay? How often do we like, well, you know what? It's 30 below 0 outside. Subway's open. Let me get my coat. No. You never in your life left the house at 30 degrees below 0. Unless you have to work or go to the hospital. Okay? You cancel you canceled the movie theater, you canceled the restaurant that day. If it was 30 degrees below 0 in your neighborhood, you canceled all your plans except going to work and going to the hospital. Okay, so he goes out. Then there are 2 white men who are also out at 30 degrees below 0 in the middle of Chicago with MAGA hats on. And they have a noose in them and bleach in them. And they happen to run into a gay black celebrity. Okay. And they beat him, put the noose around his neck, dumped the Clorox on him, or whatever the fuck it was, okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That right there, when I first heard it, I was laughing my ass off, okay? All these media like, oh my god, racism is so bad. Okay, I was laughing my ass off, okay? Because A, I knew it was a bullshit story. B, if you're going out 30 below 0, you deserve the should be at you, okay? Now, if he said, in theory, I was coming home from work one night and someone said nigger and punched me in the face and ran away, that would have been plausible. I would believe that, okay? But this MAGA hat and noose and Clorox and they're wandering around aimlessly in Chicago at 3 o'clock in the morning and no one notices them. Okay? Think about this a minute, okay? You're walking around Chicago at 3 o'clock in the morning. How come you're not being shot by the gangbangers? Okay? It seems to me that 2 guys walking around at 3 o'clock in the morning in Chicago would be shot by gangbangers before they get to find a victim to pour shit on. Okay? So that right now, on top of that, as they beat the shit out of him, they say, this is MAGA country. Okay. How many people in Chicago voted for Trump? 5? Okay, so 5 people in Chicago voted for Trump. Okay, and of those 5, 2 of them are white supremacists, and they're walking around 30 below 0, 3 o'clock in the morning with a noose and a Clorox. Okay, and they find the rich, gay, black celebrity. Okay? So he needs to go to prison, okay? He needs to go to prison because, and obviously what happens when you call 911, the first thing that happens is the patrolman comes, okay? The patrolman comes and says, okay, this is a felony or a complicated crime, I gotta call a detective in, okay? But you first get a patrolman, okay? And then the detective comes later on. Now, what if a 16-year-old black girl was being raped, okay, or being chased or being attacked somehow, and someone called 911. Maybe someone heard a scream out the window and they saw a 16-year-old black girl being raped or something like that. Okay? Like in the apartment building, whatever. So you're in an apartment building, black girl's being raped or attacked or beaten or some shit. Okay? And the neighbor calls 911. And there's one less cop to respond because they're talking to Jussie Smollett. Okay? What if a black man who was working the overnight shift somewhere was driving home and he was shot by a black gangbanger and he was bleeding to death and they needed assistance from him? Okay? That's what could have happened, okay? When you call 911 by prank, understand that there is someone somewhere who legitimately might need that person, whether it's a paramedic, a fireman, a police officer, they legitimately might need them to help them with a rape or a murder or a shooting or a stabbing or an accident, okay? And you are taking that away from them, okay? Now, he should be charged with perjury. He should spend 15 years in prison. And the fines and the lawsuits is not enough, okay? He took up 3,000 man hours, okay? Do you know how much money detectives make in 3,000 hours? Okay? A detective in my hometown, okay? If he works 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year, okay? That is what? 40, 60, 40, 80. I'm doing math now. 40, 80, 160. So 160 hours a month, okay? So a detective works 40 hours a week on average. He does 160 hours a month. Okay? Multiply that by 10 months is 1,600 hours, okay? So this must have been a multitude of detectives, okay? 3,000 man hours being used up on this case. Okay? Keep in mind, the detective, on average, can easily make $200,000 an hour. They usually get a weekly paycheck. Okay, it's like a straight salary. And if they work overtime, they get the time and a half or some shit. But, yeah, 3,000 detective hours. Okay? In addition to the fact that there were less detectives for rapes, murders, drug dealing, stuff like that, gang activity, okay, in Chicago. Okay? So he needs to go to jail. Okay? He needs to go to jail. And when I say jail, I mean jail. I don't mean go to a fucking country club, okay? I don't mean go to one of these places where you fucking play video games all day, okay? He needs to go to a real jail, a real prison, okay? He should do the full 15 years in prison, plus time for perjury. Charge with that also, okay? General population, okay? Let him live with them, okay? Let him live with the animals, okay? Let him live with the rapists. Let him live with the murderers. Let him live with the gangbangers, okay? Let him live with the junkies. Let him live in general population, okay? Because if you did this shit, you would be in there too. Thank you.